Hi everyone, you're welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we'll be drafting and cutting this beautiful gown. I made use of 3 yards of Ankara fabric. This video is just the drafting and cutting. I'll drop the sewing video soon. Do wait to like, share this video with your sew friends. Thank you. Let's jump right into it. So I came in by 1 inches to serve as my center front. Let's assume the pattern paper is on fold. Then on the up of my pattern paper here, I came down by 1 inches. This will serve as the shoulder line. Next we have to do is to come down from this shoulder line by the bust point. So shoulder to bust point is 10 inches. Then you keep your tape there. The next you have to get shoulder to under bust. Shoulder to under bust is 13 inches. After getting shoulder to under bust, the next you have to get is shoulder to waist. Shoulder to waist is 16 inches. So now our tape is 3 here. The next we have to get now is shoulder to the upper hip, which is 20 inches. So now connect these lines together. After connecting the lines together now, it's always good to label your pattern. Here I'll pull down bust points, under bust, waist, then the upper hip. After doing this now, the next we have to get is the width of the neckline. So we'll be making use of standard neckline, which is 3 inches. 3 inches here for the width. Then by the depth also, I'll make use of 3 inches for the depth of my neckline. Now connect with the French curve. So now after getting the neckline, the next we have to get is the shoulder measurement. So for my shoulder, I'm working with 14 inches. You divide your shoulder by 2. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7 inches. Then I'll add half inches for seam allowance. Now I'm working with 7.5 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inches for the shoulder slope and mark here. Then I'll connect this 1 inches down to the width of my neckline. Then after doing this now, we have to get the armhole. To get your round armhole, you divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5. The bust I'm working with is 36. 36 divided by 6 will give me 6 inches. So from this 1 inches I came down for the shoulder slope, I'll put down 6 inches here. Then I'll add 1.5 plus 1.5. So this is the 1.5. Now I have 7.5 for the armhole. Now we'll check what I have for my startup line here. I have 8.6. So here I'll put down 8.6. Now connect with a straight line. So after getting this, now we have to bring down the shoulder measurement down to this chest line here, which is 7.5. We have chest line here. So now connect with a straight line down here. So now the next I have to do is to divide this armhole here. This line, this straight line we have here is a guide. So I'll divide this by 2. 7.5 divided by 2 will give me 3.75. So here I'll mark down 3.75. Then I'll come in by half inches for the armhole shaping. Here, then I will mark from this 1 inches I have here a straight line this way. Then I'll finish up with my French curve. So after getting the armhole curve, now the next we have to do is to get the bust span. The bust span I'm working with, also known as the nipple to nipple point, is 3.5. On my bust point here, I'll put down 3.5. Then on the waist and on the under bust, I'll put down 3.5. Then I'll connect with a straight line. So after connecting it, I'll come down from my bust point by 1 inches and mark. Now open down my darts. So I'll be opening my darts by half inches here. When you're working for a plus size, you make use of 0.5 inches. But I'm working with a small size, that's why I'm using half inches. I'll connect these half inches down to this 1 inches mark I have here. So after connecting the dart leg, now the next we have to do is to pull down the bust measurement. So the bust I'm working with is 36. 36 divided by 4 will give me 9 inches. On my chest line, I'll put down 9 inches. Then on the bust point also, I'll put down 9 inches. Then the next we have to do now is to divide the waist. The waist I'm working with is 32. 32 divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. So I'll put down 8 inches here. Then I will add what I have here, which is 1 inches for the dart intake. I will add it up here, 1 inches. Now I'll connect from my chest line down to the waist. So after connecting this line now, we have to get the difference between the front and back. For my front and back, the difference between my front and back is 2 inches. So I'll come down from the bust point line by 2 inches and mark. I'll connect this 2 inches down to the nipple to nipple point. So now the next we have to do now is to tighten the under bust. The under bust I'm working with is 29. 29 divided by 4 will give me 7.25. So I'll put down 7.25 here. Then I'll check what I have left. I have 1.75. On this center front here, I'll come in by half inches here. On this first dart leg, half inches. Then I will check what I have left by putting down half inches here. Then I'll put down 1.75 here. By the time we check it, we have 1.25. So now connect with my French curve. You put down your French curve this way and you connect it back to your nipple to nipple point like this. Then you turn your French curve to the other side and you connect back to your nipple to nipple point. Now connect this 1.25 I have here down to this dart leg. Then I'll connect this half inches also down to the dart leg. So now after doing this, now we have to divide the shoulder. So I will check what I have on my shoulder. I have 4.5. I'll divide it by 2 like this and mark. Then I'll connect this line down to my nipple to nipple point here. So after doing this now, we have to get the neckline. So to get your neckline, when measuring your clients, you ask them how deep they want their cleavage. For my cleavage here, I will make use of 5 inches. I'll come down from the neck depth here by 5 inches and mark. From the shoulder here, I'll come down here by 7 inches. So now connect this line here down to my 5 inches I have here. I'll put down my French curve. So then I'll continue this way. Okay. So now after connecting this, now I'll turn my French curve down back to this other side. And I'll connect down to the armhole. Okay. This is it. I connect it down to this armhole here. So now after doing this, now you can't cut this way. You have to tighten your neckline so that it will not gape when you bend down to pick up something. Then I'll tighten my neckline by half inches on this line here. Then on this other side also, I will mark down half inches. Now connect with a straight line down to my nipple to nipple point here. Then I'll finish up here with my French curve this way. So now for the neckline, I'll come up by 0.25. This other neckline here, I'll come up by 0.25 here. So that by the time we fold the neckline like this, it will be equal with this other side we have here. And I will continue like this. So now this is where I'm cutting from, not this other one here. So now I'll cut this out. You can see where I'm cutting from. So now fold in my bust darts. After folding my bust darts, then I will blend back. So after blending back, the next we have to do now is to get the Basque effect we have on the hem of the gown, because we're adding gathers to this hem of our gown here. The Basque effect we have there is a sharp Basque. So I will just do this like this. Then we cut out. I'm through the cutting of the pattern paper. Now we have to work on the yoke. So for the yoke here, I will just maintain this width of my neckline. I'll connect it down to this line we have here, like this. So this is the yoke. This, we're working with this one. We don't have anything to do with this. Through with the cutting of the front, you can see this is the center front, side front, then the yoke. Now let's draft out the back pattern. So for my back pattern, I came down by 1 inches. This is the startup line. Then I came in by 1 inches here. This serves as the center back where the zipper will sit. So now after doing that, now we have to get the width of the neckline. We still maintain 3 inches for the width of the neckline. Then for the depth of my neckline, I'll come down by 1 inches for the depth of the neckline. So now I'll connect my necklines together. Then after connecting the neckline, now the next we have to do is to get the shoulder. So for my shoulder, I'm working with 14. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7 inches. Then I'll add half inches for ease. So now we're working with 7.5 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inches for my shoulder slope and mark. I'll connect this 1 inches down to the width of the neckline. So after connecting it now, the next we have to do is to drop down the chest line. To get your chest line, divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5. After doing that, I have 7.5. So here, on my 1 inches mark here, I'll come down by 7.5. Then I'll check what I have from the startup line. I have 8.5. Then I'll bring the 8.5 down to the center back, like this, and mark. So now connect these lines together. On the chest line here, I'll put down 7.5, which is my shoulder line here. Then I'll connect with a straight line. So now the next we have to do is to divide what we have here. We have 7.5 divided by 2 will give me 3.75. I'll come in by half inches. Now connect from, then we use our French curve to finish up. So after getting this now, the next we have to do is to get from shoulder to waist. From shoulder to waist, I'm working with is 14. You know, for the front, we made use of 16. Then the back, we minus the 2 inches, which is the difference between the front and the back. So here now, I'll mark down 14 inches. So I'll connect this line together. So now I'm done connecting the lines together. Here we have chest line. Here we have waist. Now the next we have to do is to come down from this waist line here by 4 inches and mark. This will serve as the upper hip. Now connect this line together. So now the next we have to do after getting the lines, the chest line, waist, and the upper hip. Now on our waistline here, I'll come in by half inches. This is for the zipper bulge. Half inches here. Then on my depth of the neckline here, I'll come down by 3 inches and mark. So now connect this half inches I came here down to these 3 inches here. And I'll connect this half inches down to my upper hip here. Now the next we have to do now is to drop down the bust measurement on the chest line. The bust I'm working with is 36. 36 divided by 4 will give me 9 inches. On this, after this line we use for the back bulge, that's where I drop down my 9 inches and mark here. Then on the waist also, before we divide the waist, we have to put down the nipple to nipple points. So for my nipple to nipple points here, I'll make use of 4 inches for the nipple to nipple points. Then I'll come on the chest line also and mark 4 inches. I'll go on the upper hip also and mark 4 inches. So now connect with a straight line. So now on the waist here, I'll open up my dart by half inches. So here I'll put down half inches. On this other side also, I'll come in by half inches. Then I'll come down from my chest line by 1 inches. The dart is not getting to the chest line. I'll connect this way. Now we have to divide the waist measurement. The waist I'm working with is 32. 32 divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. After the zipper bulge, that's where I will drop down my 8 inches. After this half inches we have here, then I drop down 8 inches for the waist. And I'll check what I have for my dart. I have 1 inches. I'll add it back 1 inches. So now connect from chest line down to the waist. After doing this now, the next we have to do is to work on the opening we have at the back of the gown. So to do that, I'll come down from the depth of my neckline by 3 inches here and mark. Then I'll come down by the chest line by 3 inches also and mark. Then from this 3 inches here, I'll come in by 5.5 and mark. Come here also on the chest line here by 5.5 also and mark. This on the chest line here, I mark 5.5. Then here I'll come down by 1 inches. On these 3 inches we have here, I'll mark this with a straight line. After connecting this line together now, you come in from this 5.5 we have here by 1 inches and mark. You know, we come down here already from the chest line by 1 inches and mark. Now we'll connect from these 3 inches we came down here and mark to this 5.5 we have here. Then you bring in your French curve and connect this 1 inches mark down to this like this. Now finish up with the French curve. Connect it back to the 1 inches this way. I'm done with the connecting. You can see how it looks here. The next we have to do is to add the zipper allowance. So from this 3 inches mark I came here, I'll mark 1 inches, 1 inches for zipper allowance. And now connect the lines together. So now this is the zipper allowance. Now I'm done with the cutting. Now we connect the Basque effect down to the hem. From the waist, we connect down to the hem this way. Okay, this is it. Now let's cut out the darts. Now I'm done cutting out the darts. Now we put these lines together this way. And now you mark down the Basque effect. At the beginning we've cut this out. It will not be equal. So now you put it this way and you mark again. So now cut out. I'm through with the cutting of the back. You can see how it looks. Don't forget, you have to cut out the zipper at the up of your back, the center back, that neckline area. You cut out the zipper. If not, so this side will be excess. So now I'll cut these patterns, the front and the back, on my fabric. I'm through with the cutting of my pattern paper on the fabric, and this is the center front. Here I added 0.5 inches on the center front. Then on the side front here, I added 2 inches for seam allowance, 0.5 inches to join the center front to the side front together. Then for the back, this is the center back and this is the side back. So on my center back here, we've already added zipper allowance on the pattern. So I added 0.5 inches to join the center back and the side back together. And on the side of my center back, I added seam allowance, which is 2 inches. And here also I added 0.5 inches for turning the neckline together. I'll be dropping the sewing video soon. Do well to like, share this video with your sew friends. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.